I had just graduated college and needed a small place to stay while I searched for a new job. I worked part-time at a small grocery store, but now I graduated. It was time to start looking for a better job. Anyways, apartments were way too expensive to rent on my own, so I was mainly looking for places with spare room for rent. I knew it would be awkward for a while living in someone else's house, but I didn't have much of a choice, to be honest. My old roommate from college suggested looking on Craigslist, as most other sites at the time didn't let you post a single rooms in the house, or maybe it was just really hard to find them. Either way, Craigslist seemed to have a ton of options to choose from, so I stuck with it. After a few days though, I started to get too frustrated as none of the people would reply to my requests, and the ones that did would just apologize and say it was already taken. But then on Saturday morning, a new room popped up. It was nearby, cheap, and looked very nice. In the description, a man named Tom was advertising it as a large house with a spare bedroom for rent that also had a separate bathroom and closet. This sounded perfect to me, so I emailed him about my interest and then went to work. I knew the listing had just been posted that morning, so I felt confident that I was the first one to contact him. On my lunch break, I had checked my emails and Thomas replied asking me to come and view in that afternoon. I knew I'd be tired after work, but I also really wanted this place, so I agreed and we set a time. After work I drove straight there, which was only about 10 minutes. From the outside, the house looked really nice. It honestly just looked like a regular medium-sized neighborhood home. I parked on the side of the road and walked up to the door, then lightly knocked. After 30 seconds, I knocked again, a little bit harder this time. A minute later, I pulled my phone out to text Tom, but just before I sent it, he opened the door and invited me in. I immediately noticed he was sweating a lot, as if he had just finished a long workout and he smelled awful. I didn't want to be rude or anything, so I just ignored it. He began walking me around the ground level floor, showing me the kitchen and the living room. He mentioned that he didn't use these rooms often, so I wouldn't have to worry about getting in his way. From the look of the rooms, though, it seemed as though he used them too often. Old dishes were piled up in the sink, and the couch had stains all over it. I really did not like how dirty the whole place was, and it was strange that in the picture it looked like the house was really clean. One thing I remember specifically was that the living room had the brown leather couch in the picture, but the couch that was actually there was black. I figured time would probably use the picture of the house from years ago before it sold. I was a bit annoyed at the dishonesty of it, but all that really mattered was my room, which was upstairs. Tom led the way to the stairs, then stopped when he reached the bottom of the steps and held his hand out in a gesturing manner as if he wanted me to head up first. I got up, weird and uncomfortable feeling as I started up the stairs. As Tom didn't follow me, he stayed at the bottom and smiled, saying that my room would be the first one on the left. I continued the top and took a couple of steps into the hallway before a soft thud came from behind the door to what was said to be my room. I looked back downstairs at Tom, whose smile was now completely gone. I say, "Someone else live here?" He replied in an annoyed tone, telling me that it was just one of his friends staying the night and not to worry about it. Then urged me to check out the room for myself, as he was sure that I like it. I was definitely pretty nervous at this point, scared even. Why wouldn't he have told me that someone else was here. It seemed like something that I should know. Everything started adding up, and all I wanted was to get out of there right away. I tried to act confident and began walking down the stairs as I explained that the place wasn't going to work out for me. He didn't seem like that answer, and he moved his body to block most of the bottom of the stairs. I stood a couple of steps away and firmly told him that I needed to leave. He asked me again to check out the bedroom to at least see if I liked it. And again I said I was not interested. He looked at me for a moment. Then, to my surprise, he smiled and said okay, stepping aside. I quickly walked past him and straight out the front door. I don't know what was going on in that house, but something didn't feel right about any of it. I even felt lucky to have been able to leave so easily. In the moment, I thought I was going to have to force my way out. I checked Craigslist a couple hours later and the posting had been removed. I still wonder who and what was in that room upstairs. For all I know, it could have just been an empty room, but something tells me that it was something much worse.